Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I want to share with you some of my favorite purple foliage shrubs that I hope you'll consider adding into your garden. And you know, purple foliage is such a versatile tool when it comes to garden design because it has so many unique purposes and functions in the garden. Purple foliage has a visually cooling effect in the landscape. It can be used to add depth in the garden since it naturally falls to the back of a garden bed and brighter colors spring forward. It can be used as a piece of living art or a focal point, or how about a dark backdrop to highlight perennial flowers? You can also use it to bring contrast to garden beds. You can use it in place of a green screen, why not a purple screen? Or when you mass purple foliage together, it can really create a beautiful modern look. Now, there's a lot of different purple foliage shrubs to choose from, but let's go around my garden and look at a few that I feel like I just couldn't live without. So if you watch my channel, it's probably no surprise that the first shrub on my list is a Ninebark. And there are lots of different cultivars of Ninebark to choose from, so you can really pick a variety that ends up at the mature size and has the color that you're after. The one right next to me is called Tiny Wine Ninebark. It gets about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide at maturity. This one is mature at this point. It blooms in the spring and then it's followed by these beautiful seed pods. It's amazing in terms of a cut foliage and a cut flower, and I think it just gives so much back no matter what season you're in. Now here's another Ninebark I have on my property. This one is called Ginger Wine Ninebark, and you can see it's taller than me. It's supposed to get about 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. Now this one is turning its fall color, so it's going a little bit more into that purple tone. But when this one first emerges in the spring, it's much more vibrant. It's almost a orangey red color. Then it blooms a beautiful white pink, and then it ages to this purple color once the fall sets in. And this one you can see has a much bigger leaf than Tiny Wine. So really think about what you're going for in terms of leaf size, color, overall structure of the plant, and then choose a Ninebark that's right for you. And the other Ninebark I have is called Summer Wine Black Ninebark. It's over in the driveway garden and it's still quite small, so it really hasn't started to get that beautiful arching fountain appearance yet, but it will in time. And another thing that happens in time is that the bark starts to peel, and therefore you're seeing multiple layers of bark, hence the name Ninebark. And if you need a few more reasons to love this shrub, it's also a North American native and it's disease resistant. Now next on my list is a plant that I have to tell you, I just absolutely love it. It's called Pearl Glam Beautyberry. It has purple foliage right from the start of the season, but then it also gives us purple berries. I can't think of any other plant that has purple foliage and purple berries. Let me know if you know of one that I don't. But this is just absolutely phenomenal. And you're probably familiar with the standard calocarpa that kind of grows wild, at least here in Pennsylvania. You really see them everywhere. This one is really different. It's a compact variety of calocarpa. It only gets 4 to 5 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide, so you really can tuck it into your landscape. And honestly, I can't say enough good things about this plant. The reason why I'm not showing you the plant over in the driveway garden is one, because it's kind of loud over there, but also just because I cut on it so heavily that there's almost nothing left to look at this time in the year. But I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and I think you'll love having not only the look of this purple foliage in your garden, but also these purple berries come late fall. Now third on my list is the Winecraft Black Smoke Bush, and I love the purple foliage of this plant. It has beautiful rounded leaves, but most of all, I love its dwarf habit, because if you're familiar with the older varieties of smoke bush, they can be really tall and kind of gnarly looking. My grandma had one in her garden. It was easily 15, maybe even 20 feet tall, and it had almost kind of a eerie, spooky appearance. But these newer smoke bushes are rounded in form, so really to find a smoke bush that has that beautiful, more of a mound appearance rather than a scattered, gnarly feel, I think that's absolutely wonderful. And a fun fact, a lot of people think that the smoke on a smoke bush is the flower, but actually it's the seed pod that the flower leaves behind. Now next on my list is Mahogany, Splendor, Hibiscus. And if you're saying to yourself, wait a second, Danielle, I don't think that's a shrub, you're absolutely right. This is considered a tender perennial in zone 8 and 9, but most of us grow it as an annual for the purpose of using it as cut foliage. It really has the look of a purple Japanese maple when you look at the leaves, and it's more of a red purple when grown in full sun. And if you grow it in a little more of a shady position, you're going to end up with more of a rust to almost green tone to the leaves. But the reason why I really wanted to include this on the list is really for those of us who are maybe just trying out the thought of adding purple foliage and maybe don't want to spend a lot of money yet. I totally understand that. Just buy a packet of Mahogany, Splendor, Hibiscus seeds. They're so easy to grow. They're big seeds, stick them in the ground, walk away, they'll do the rest. And then you can see what a 5 by 5 foot shrub that's purple will look like in your landscape in time. And then hey, for that first year, you have all of this beautiful cut foliage to use in flower arrangements. Now the final plant on my list is one that I absolutely adore, and it's called black lace elderberry. And we're back here at a part of my property that you might not see a lot, but when we first moved in, I immediately purchased 5 black lace elderberry and put a screen here, a purple screen at the edge of our property to screen from our neighbor's driveway. Sadly, a few years ago, a very, very large tree fell just the right way and pretty much crushed them all. And so I started again and I put in arborvitaes. But I want to bring back some black lace elderberry as more specimen plants in the landscape because they're absolutely fabulous. They do make a great screen because they grow 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. They bloom beautiful blooms that the pollinators absolutely adored when I had them. And as long as you have a pollinator like instant karma or laced up elderberry, you will also get black elderberries, so something for the birds to enjoy as well. So I feel like of all the plants that I've mentioned today, in terms of creating a purple green screen, I feel like black lace elderberry is really a great choice. Just remember, you need that pollinator if you want the berries, but it's really not necessary either. Maybe you don't want to worry about the berries and you want to kind of forego the pollinator. It's great either way you decide to grow it. Well, those are my personal favorite purple foliage shrubs, but I'd really love to hear about all of yours. And we could even expand this list and go into trees and talk about things like copper beeches, purple leaf sand cherry, which some people say is a shrub and some people say is a tree depending on who you talk to, purple leaf plums. But really my hope here is just to kind of increase awareness for these purple foliage shrubs and their inclusion in gardens because they add so much interest and intrigue, and they function in so many ways depending on how you use them. So guys, I sure hope this video was helpful, and until next time, happy gardening. Bye!